I think the theme for this year's Singapore International Energy Week is absolutely spot on, advancing the energy transition. I think if I was going to add to something to it, I'll talk about the pace of change. How fast are we going to change? Some people are talking to 2025, some people are talking to 2050 or even beyond. So what's the pace? And the second one is what's the scale? How are we going to replace the existing energy system with decarbonised systems at scale? And at the British Chamber of Commerce, we've been doing a lot of work on that, and people can look at our library of activity. For policymakers, I really think it should be outcomes focused. Let's not focus on specific technologies, but let's really focus on what are the outcomes that are desired. We had a session today on regional interconnectivity, and we talked about policies that were realistic to build systems that are reliable and resilient, and of course at lowest cost, because the consumer that always pays. Now, in terms of that pace, we hear a lot, and we're going to hear it in the future weeks, about net zero coming up at COP26. People tend to focus on the word zero. I think that's the wrong thing. People should focus on the word net. And by net, I really mean that fossil fuels will be part of the mix, particularly gas, nuclear. You can't just transition overnight to a world that runs on renewable energy. So what part does Singapore play in this? Well, Singapore's got great assets. It's got a world-class port, an airport, an integrated chemicals complex. It's also got world-class housing. And I think Singapore's got the skill sets and the institutions to use those assets in a way that Singapore becomes a beacon for the world, whether it's a sustainable aviation hub, whether it's around electrification of ports, whether it's around decarbonised petrochemicals and industry. So my cry to Singapore is allow yourself to be this beacon to the world and attract the world's brains to join your brains in solving these problems.